Oh, yeah, it's delayed. Say hello,
Hi,
Australia.
we're really smart. See, if we can do it, anybody can do this business.
Right. So do you know which one is Becca and which one is Jen?
Yes.
When we first joined Scentsy, we would go to events because I used to have my hair exactly like hers. And people would come up all the time and say, "Are you Becca? Are you Becca?" And she'd be like, "No, I'm Jen." So this is Jen.
But the funny thing is that when we're standing up, Becca is 5'11",
11,
and I'm 5'6". So it's like this. So I would say, oh, she's much taller than I am. So I'm Jen Audette, and I'm so excited. You guys have all gotten some emails from me, and I cannot even wait, as I've told all of you, to meet you. On my dream board is to go to Australia and to go on an African safari, and those are my two big things. So I'm so excited that I get to come to Australia at some point. So you guys are, the harder you work, the quicker you build your group, the quicker that I get to come, and I'm going to try to talk Becca into coming with me. So I am so excited. I wanted Becca to share her story with you and a little bit about her journey with Scentsy, and I think I've given you the information on how to read her story from her childhood story. So I think a lot of you are familiar with that. But I just wanted to, since we're here together in Boise, Idaho, so we're at a Superstar Director Summit, and Scentsy brings, once a year, they bring us all in, and we come here to a hotel in Idaho and have a blast, and they spoil us and teach us all kinds of great stuff. So anyway, we're here together, and we actually live way on other sides of the country. And so we're here, and I wanted you to meet Becca. So Becca, here she is.
Hi. So we have had so much fun. Like Jen said, we were complete strangers, and I met her through an internet ad. And so she saw it, she emailed me, and I sent her a sample and some information on joining, and she did. And so it was it a year or 2 years before we met?
It was almost a year.
A year. So
yes.
We had both won an incentive trip. Was to Alaska, right? Was it to Alaska?
Banff.
Oh, Banff, Canada,
right.
which
Banff,
is
Alberta,
gorgeous
Canada.
too.
Oh my gosh, it was the best trip ever. And since then, we have been on like at least 20 trips together.
Yes.
In 5 years. Is that crazy or what? At least 20. It's definitely more than 20. But anyway, sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So anyway, so now we're like best buddies. But what is really exciting is that even though we had never met in person, kind of like what's going on here with this fantastic Australian team that you guys have already started, is that you can be super successful and do it by the way we're doing it. And we didn't even have videos at the time. So this is kind of a little bit funner because we just did it. That's not really a word unless you say it is. I think
it is now. My children just told me that it is officially in the dictionary.
Oh,
because
really?
When I said you don't use funner, you say more fun. They said, no, Mom, it's in the dictionary. They've added words. So
yeah, you
we'll
can
Google
pay
that.
to put words in there, and my assistant probably did that. No, I'm just kidding. So one of my favorite sayings is you don't have to be perfect to be powerful. And after you watch this video, you're going to say, okay, are these two really making that much money, and are they really that successful? Because they're just a little goofy. And that's what we love. That's what we love, that people from all walks of life and all different degrees of education and backgrounds and lack of experience or lots of experience can be super successful with Scentsy because it's just such a simple product. So where would you like me to start with my story?
Well, one of my favorite stories is what inspired you. You knew that there was potential to make a lot of money with this company, and so you went to a meeting and you had met a woman named Adie Mitchell. So that story is kind of one of my favorite stories, if you don't mind sharing that one.
Okay, so I have to say I wasn't really crazy about scent, but I really felt in my heart that this was the company I needed to get involved with, and I knew it was a simple product that anybody could be successful at. As one of my other superstar directors has said, you don't even have to have a personality to be successful with Scentsy. So anyway, long story short is I did sign up, and within a week, I drove 4 hours to a meeting. A Scentsy meeting that was put on by some other leaders. And at this event was a woman named Adie Mitchell. And she was so much fun, and she had this great, contagious laugh. And I got to talking to her, and I asked her how much money she was making. And she'd been with the company for 2 years, and she was making, her check for that month was $14,900, I think is what it was. So I went home and said, oh my gosh, 1 month she made $14,900 in 1 month. So I went home and I told my husband, honey, if Adie can do it, I can do it too. And I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it in 1 year instead of 2. And my husband, who's very wonderful and supportive, was a little worried I was being a little ambitious and that it probably wasn't possible right that quick. But I'm stubborn, and so I went for it. And so I have to say my husband was partially right, because on my year anniversary, my check was like $9,979 for the month. But 2 months later, I hit my first $15,000 check. And it has doubled, and it has doubled and quadrupled since then. So in 1 month. So you know why we're so excited? We're so excited because we know that you have this opportunity. And as we have been watching already what you guys are doing, we know you guys, the sky is the limit, because we weren't even the first consultants in our country.
Right, I was going to say, because I'm number 12,500 in the USA, and what number are you?
4,654. So in my area, people are already saying, oh, I think our state's too saturated. But, you know, if you think small, you get small. And so I know if you think big, you get big. And so I'm a big thinker. I wrote down at the time that I started also that my little goal was that much money, 15,000 in 1 month, really. And then my big goal that I was embarrassed to show anybody was $50,000 in 1 month. And that we have surpassed that. Almost doubled that in 1 month. And so, you know, we know where we're going. So that's what we want for you.
Yes, yes. And that's US dollars. And I think that you take that and multiply it times 1.3, I think, to figure out what that is in Australia. So I'm not 100% sure. Not that it matters, but it's a really good amount of money. And I mean, we have fun, and we get to travel, and we earn all these great trips, and we make such great friends. And I don't know, it's almost too good to be true, but it's such a blessing. We're very, very, very lucky and fortunate. So one of my favorite authors, as you all know, is Mary Christensen, and you are so lucky that she's heading your country. And one of my favorite sayings that she has is, sales are your income for today, booking parties is your income for tomorrow, and sponsoring and recruiting other new team members is your income forever. And one of the reasons that I too, like Becca, became so successful early in my business is because I learned to not just focus on my sales, but to focus on sponsoring new team members and bringing other people into the business, which honestly, without Becca's help, I would have never known how important that was. So some of the wisdom that you shared with me was to make sure that you go wide and personally recruit as many people as you possibly can. So can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit and how?
Yes, that's huge. You know, sometimes I get so excited that I forget to tell you the key elements. So definitely, if you want to make the big money and be one of those top leaders in your country and get worldwide recognition, then you're going to do that not on sales. You're going to do that on recruiting by helping a lot of people sell. So you're going to do your portion, but you're going to help a lot of other people make their financial goals. So the more people you help, the more people you sponsor, then the bigger money opportunity that you have. And that is the thing that a lot of people miss. One of my very best friends joined Scentsy the same month that I did. And in her state, there was only 15 consultants. And I told her, hey, the key to real success is to help other people get what they want. So help them make as little or as much money as they want doing Scentsy, but go out there and build a sales team. Sponsor, sponsor, sponsor. And so she said, okay, well, every month I would talk to her, she would say, no one wants to join. No one wants to join. And after a year, and we know what my checks were after a year, and her checks were around a couple $1,000s a month, which is great, okay? That's life-changing too. But she looked at my checks of, you know, 15,000, and she's like, what's going on here? What's the difference? And I said, well, you haven't been sponsoring anybody. And by now her state had like, you know, 800 consultants in it that were not sponsored by her. So if you don't sponsor them, I can guarantee you someone else is going to sponsor, because they're going to understand that's key to big money. And so she said to me about 2 years later, you know, my checks are in the tens of thousands a month. And she said, you know what, I have to be honest with you, Becca. She said, the whole time that I was telling you no one wanted to be sponsored and start their own Scentsy business, I was lying to you. I somehow thought I could make all the money off of sales, and I could be the only consultant in my area, and everybody would have to buy from me. And then I realized that that just like you said, the money, there's good money in selling, but the really great money and the great relationships and changing lives and making all these fabulous friendships comes from, you know, being a team leader. And so she said, I lied to you and I just didn't get it. So probably our biggest advice to you right now is to take this fabulous opportunity that you have and start sharing it with as many people as you can. So we're going to talk more about that in another video, but we don't want to get this one to get too long. So if you want to hear more, then just click on the next video link that we post for you. Okay, you guys are rocking it. Love seeing what you're doing on the pages.
Oh, it's so
and,
fun.
And we'll be back.
And I love the idea of the bouncy house and the, was it cotton candy?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, are you brilliant or what? I mean, I never ever thought of that, so that's awesome. Congratulations to whoever thought of that. And so we'll see you guys soon. Hope you watch our next one.
Okay, bye.